Alright, so. What is up, peeps? Ugh. What's happening, people? Today I wanted to discuss who I think are the top 5 actors currently working today. One of them's not really working. That's why I kind of hesitated. One of them's not really working anymore. He was working, he kind of retired, and then I was looking at IMDb, and he only did like 2 shorts recently. So I wouldn't consider him working, but he's kind of working. Anyways, he's number 5, Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis obviously was great in Gangs of New York as the Butcher, Lincoln. I just remember every time I saw him, he was a very compelling actor. He was in The Crucible. He was a very compelling actor. You always believed his character, and you never thought, oh, that's just Daniel Day-Lewis. Like, there's certain actors that's just Robert Downey Jr. He's, no matter what, he's Robert Downey Jr. Except in Tropic Thunder. But he just plays Robert Downey Jr. in every movie, where that is the character. It's not like I think the difference is Daniel Day-Lewis plays the character that was written, where certain actors, and this is no shit on them, but certain actors play themselves, like the character's written as them. So if Robert Downey Jr. is in a movie, 9 times out of 10, that character was written for Robert Downey Jr. And obviously I don't have evidence to back this up, but it just seems that way because the character is exactly like him. Versus, you know, a Daniel Day-Lewis who's different in everything he does. So I'm gonna stick him with a solid number 5. Not really working anymore, doesn't really count. I'm making the rules, so kiss my ass. Number 4. And this is probably gonna be unpopular, but I'm gonna have to go with Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's got this ability to really let out emotion without saying anything. And I think this is a good example was in The Dark Knight Rises, where when he's speaking, you know, it's almost like his eyes are speaking to you. You know, half of his face is covered in the movie. The whole movie, his face is covered. Mad Max, same thing. His face is covered for most of the movie, but you can see through his eyes what the emotions are. And it's a very unique characteristic. I don't think a lot of people could do it as well. But I think he did a really good job in both of those. I mean, I loved him in Rock and Roll as Handsome Bob. I loved him in, I thought Venom was good. Out of, you know, comic book movies, it wasn't bad. It certainly wasn't bad. He was good in The Revenant. So he's just good in everything he does. And, you know, he's shown some range. But again, just his face acting is very talented in my book. Number 3. Another one that I think might be unpopular. It's probably gonna be pretty popular. He's good. We're gonna have to go with Christian Bale. So I remember seeing him in American Psycho and thought, this guy's just a douche. I really don't like him. And I think that was the first thing I remember seeing him in. That's the first movie I remember him. So from that performance, I'm like, yeah, it was a weird movie, but I didn't think he was a really good actor. And I think what turned me was seeing him in Fighter. And now I thought he was all right in the Batmans. I thought he was all right in Hostiles. But I remember seeing Fighter, where he's like an older brother of a boxer, and he's a junkie. And just the way he portrayed that character. And I remember seeing at the end of the movie, they showed like the real people, and the guy was just like him. The guy was exactly like him. Christian Bale did a better him than he did himself. So it was just a very good performance, and from there I've learned to respect him a lot more. Now again, I think he was good in the Batmans. I think he was good in Vice as Dick Cheney. I think he was good in The Big Short. He was a little weird and kooky in The Big Short. I thought he was good. Even though I didn't like the movie Hostiles, I thought it was just boring. I thought he was good in that. So yeah, there hasn't been many performances. Terminator Salvation. There's been many performances that I hated, but yeah, overall, I'm chalking him up as number 3. I think he's a good number 3. Numero dos. we're gonna have to go with Gary Oldman. Now, Gary Oldman is probably has more range than any other actor I've ever seen. I mean, you'd think that like when he played Drexel Spivey, or Spivey Drexel, whatever his name was, in True Romance, you thought to yourself, oh, this is gonna be terrible. Like, you know, if it was described, if that role was described to somebody and say, you're gonna kind of play like a rapping gangster, you know, this is your dialogue, you gotta think, this guy is gonna be terrible. This is gonna be the biggest joke in the history of jokes. And he pulled it off, like, amazingly. It was realistic. It sounded authentic. It didn't just sound like a joke. You know, even though it was sort of a joke, it didn't sound like it. So yeah, I would have to put that performance as amazing. This car's getting passed. It was great as Lee Harvey Oswald in JFK. He was great as Sid Vicious and Sid Nancy. He was great in Leon the Professional. You know, he was good in Book of Eli. I wouldn't say that was one of his great performances. He was great as, you know, James Gordon. Everybody I'm picking is apparently in a Batman movie. He was great as James Gordon. I mean, he's really a great actor. And obviously makes my top 5 list as number 2. But numero uno, and I have to give it to him. And this is gonna, I should probably do honorable mentions so people don't get pissed off that I didn't put Tom Hanks in. But numero uno, we got to go with Denzel. He's just had the longevity of his career, and everything he's in, he's good. There's never been a time where you're like, wow, Denzel really wasn't that good in that movie. He's lights out in everything he's in. I mean, John Q. He's fucking John Q. Even like the new movies, The Equalizer. The Equalizer 2, there's a scene where he's in an elevator with some kid, and he's kind of like a mentor figure to the kid. And he has such an emotional scene with him where you almost want to cry. You almost want to cry. What the fuck they doing there? It was just pure talent acting. What else has he been in? I mean, Book of Eli, he was good. Training Day, he was good. Why can't I think of Denzel movies? Deja Vu, he was good. Man on Fire, he was good. He's just, everything he's in, is just good. I've never been disappointed. So, there you have it. There's my top 5. Honorable mentions, I don't really want to do it. I don't really want to do it. Fuck your honorable mentions. Now, I'll give you some honorable mentions. Tom Hanks is solid in everything he does. Leonardo DiCaprio, I thought he was much better. I really thought he was just better than he is. And he's just not. And what gave it away for me was I was recently watching Django to try to get the taste of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood out of my mouth. And I was recently watching Django, and there's a scene when they first arrive at Candyland, and Samuel L. Jackson, who's a great actor, is going back and forth with Jamie Foxx, and, you know, come on, Stephen, be funny. Be funny, Stephen. This is our guest. He's sleeping in the big house. This is our guest. I thought that was fun. And then he calls out for his sister. And it was just such a... It was such a douche chill moment where I was embarrassed for him. There's no other way to describe it but just douchey. It was just so douchey. Where's my sister? And it was just like, it wasn't needed. I don't know if this was a Leo thing or it was a Tarantino thing, but it was just such a douchey moment where it made me sick to my stomach. It absolutely made me sick to my stomach. So, Leo, you're not making the list. I'm sorry. I love you, man. I think you picked great movies. I think you were great in Blood Diamond. But you ain't making this list, I'm afraid. So there you have it. There's my top 5 actors. Daniel Day-Lewis, number 5. Tom Hardy, number 4. Christian Bale, number 3. Gary Oldman, number 2. And Denzel Washington, number 1. So, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Drop your top 5 down below in the comments, and I will probably tell you why you're wrong. Thanks. Toodles.